Okay, the first thing you need to get started tuning is a tuning wrench. This is the tuning wrench that I prefer to use. This is like an L-shaped wrench or a gooseneck wrench. Some wrenches are also like a T-shaped wrench. They all do the same thing, so I just happen to like the gooseneck because I like the way I can get a grip on it, but the T-shaped wrench is going to be fine. The most important thing is going to be that little socket shape. So you can see that it's kind of a star-shaped socket. Some wrenches will come with a square-shaped socket. You can see there's quite a difference there in the shape of those two. And I'll show you why it's important to have the star-shaped socket. I don't really understand why anybody even provides these, especially for a new dulcimer player. It seems like kind of a cruel joke. So when you put this star-shaped wrench on the peg, you can see that it's not moving a whole lot. And that's what you want. Also, with the star shape, because there are 8 little points in there, you have 8 different options for angles that you can put the wrench on the peg. So the peg is what dictates the angle of the wrench, and if the peg is turned in sort of a way that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for you to grab hold of it, you pick the wrench up. So for example, maybe I don't want to reach all the way out here. I can go 45 degrees different, and this is perfect for me. But you have all of these 8 different angles that you could put your wrench on the peg, and that'll make it more comfortable for you while you're tuning. So I'm just going to move this out of the way, put it up there for a second. Let's take a look at what this one does. First of all, when I put it on the peg, there's this angle. Maybe I don't like this a whole lot. The next angle is going to be 90 degrees, and then 90 degrees, and then 90 degrees. You only have 4 options, and if neither one of these is comfortable for you, and you want that one in between, which is what I would want, you can't get it with the square shaped. I'll just put it on there for now. This is as tight as it gets. Look at how much movement I'm getting, and I'm not doing anything to the string. I'm not turning the tuning peg. There's way too much motion as opposed to this. So if you do have one of these, you can use it for now, because that's just what you have and you want to tune your instrument, right? But ultimately, this is what you want. Go find one of these. I'll put some links to people who sell this type of wrench in the video description below, because it really is going to make your life so much easier tuning with a star-shaped wrench socket instead of the square. There are so many different varieties of electronic tuners that you can get, but definitely get an electronic tuner. Even people with perfect pitch are not machines. So the first thing you can do, it's super easy if you have a smartphone or a tablet, is just download a tuning app to your smartphone or tablet. And then, oops, helps if you... Then you can tune with a tuning app. Now I'm using ClearTune here. This is my favorite tuning app, but lots of people like a lot of different apps for tuning, so you can choose whichever one you like. Even if you pay for a tuning app, even if you pay $10 for a tuning app, it's still cheaper than buying an electronic tuner. And it's pretty convenient because you usually have your phone on you, even if you've forgotten your tuner somewhere. The only problem, obviously, is that it'll burn out the battery life of your phone, and if you need your phone to make calls, that might be an issue for you. So another tuner that's pretty common in dulcimer world is this Korg tuner. A lot of times they're black, but they're just a little chromatic tuner. They're good tuners. They've always been highly recommended. And you can just set this on your string, or if you play at an angle, you can kind of wedge it in there a little bit. Anyhow, the problem with this tuner, actually both of these tuners, is that it's catching my voice, it's picking up everything in the room. So what you can get is one of these things. What this will do is it'll isolate the sound of your instrument, and you can plug this or clip this right onto one of your tuning pegs. And now this tuner's not going to pick up all the sound in the room, it's only going to pick up the sound of this instrument. If you're interested in figuring out how to do that with the tablet or an iPhone, especially an iOS device, you can check out a video that I have on that. I'll link it in the description below. This particular pickup cable, you can buy these from from Guitar Center. They're not going to have this nice alligator clip at the end, but you can also check out some dulcimer vendors. I'll see if I can dig up some links to that sort of thing, so you can check that out if you're interested in getting one of those cables because you already have a cord tuner. The tuner that I use for everyday use and that I recommend the most is a Snark tuner. I really, really like these tuners. The battery life is pretty good. It does get a little bit, it starts eating a battery a lot faster as these tuners get older, but for the most part, I think they're very accurate. I've had really good luck using the Snark tuner. It's really easy, and it has a pickup built into it. So what I do is I usually just clip it on to the center of the center bridge here all the way at the top. And that's where I leave it until I get up here. If it starts, it's not even interfering with any of my strings. So I would probably just leave it there the entire time that I'm tuning. All of these tuners so far, you can tune any instrument with these tuners. It's not just limited to the Hammered Dulcimer. So that's kind of convenient because you're not investing in something that you can only use to tune a dulcimer. However, I have started using this Dulci tuner because I like the Snark tuner, and essentially it's the exact same technology as the Snark tuner is. You know, the tuning head is the same. The difference is this. It has a little socket, just like a tuning wrench, and you can plop it right on your tuning peg, and then you can bend it and point it towards you. I really like this tuner, but I also happen to really like the Snark tuner. So I would recommend getting one of these first, decide if you like it, and if you do, but you find that it's popping off of your bridge or something, I don't know, some reason that you're not liking this clippy part, you can invest in the Dulci tunes, and that is made by Dusty Strings. It is quite a bit more expensive. You can get this for about 15 bucks on Amazon. And one more thing, especially if you have a gooseneck wrench, when you put the wrench on the pin and when you take the wrench off the pin, try and grab hold of it from the socket part of the wrench rather than from the handle part of the wrench. So you want to put it on and off like this rather than by pulling it off from over here and putting it on from over here. You get a little bit more resistance when you're holding it onto it out here, and you're more likely to cause damage to your tuning peg. So that's the first thing. Also, when you have your wrench on your tuning pin, make sure that you don't start to let your arm rest on top of this wrench handle or push down on it in any way. You don't want to start pushing down on that. You can actually break that tuning pin off, and that would be pretty bad. Sometimes we have a tendency when we're tuning, we start plucking over here and we just let this arm start to rest, and we're not even aware that we're pushing down on it. So try not to do that. Try to avoid that. And try to avoid leaving your wrench on your instrument sticking out like that, like the way that I'm showing right now. If you do like to leave your wrench on your instrument, the best thing is to try and have it angling so that it's not sticking off the side of the instrument, because when it's sticking out like that, it's a lot more likely to get bumped by somebody walking past or just get pushed down like what I was talking about before. So if you do want to leave your wrench on your instrument, especially if you're around other people, angle it in so that it's not going to get bumped